It happens to those who aren't deemed strong enough in human society. The men in odd blue suits with red marks streaking across the stomach and chest come and take the one deemed unworthy away after their coming-of-age ceremony. Nobody knows their destination, except for the adults, it seems. For whenever the men come, the parents of the unworthy begin to cry. It is a sad spectacle to behold. Only one person was persistent enough about keeping his child that he resorted to following the takers. As a result, he was never seen or heard from again. We know the takers haven't caused him any harm. They never touch a soul. They just lead them to whatever destination holds the unworthy. The sun had just risen. The birds chirped, and everything was normal when I awoke. It was a good day. My 16th birthday, to be exact. I didn't know what form of employment they would schedule me in, but I was excited to find out. I mean, this was the day where I would come of age to be a man. I ran downstairs, but as soon as my foot fell on the final step, a loud knocking was heard on my door. I slowly approached. My parents were still asleep, and I didn't wish to wake them up. Slowly, I opened the door to meet with 6 tall men in blue suits. The first smiled with a kind face. He reached his hand out for mine to shake, and I obeyed his request, shaking lightly and greeting with my name. We are the Grimm Society, or Takers, as you call us. We have looked over your file and deemed you are not physically strong enough to give to society. My throat went dry when they said this. I didn't know how to respond. I gargled a bit, trying to choke something out, but then 2 of the men grabbed me and tied my hands behind my back. They tied a long, red bandage over my eyes so I couldn't see. I cried out to my father to only the sounds of screams and sadness. My mother was screaming for my father not to let them take me, but I was hastily pushed into some kind of vehicle. The blindfold was removed. The first thing I saw was the kind face of the first man, and he smiled warmly and somehow gave me a bit of comfort to my current situation. It will be all right. It doesn't hurt for long. All comfort dried up, and I stared completely shocked at this man. "We will be there soon. Now act your age and face what you're about to see with dignity." I tried and tried to reason with him. I didn't want to do this. All I wanted was to go back home. To which he always replied with, "Face what's coming to you with some dignity." His face shifted from kindness to annoyance. He tied the red bandage around the back of my head, forcing it so I couldn't speak. I stared at the man fearfully, but looked out the window to see nothing but long columns of trees. I didn't know what to say, but they moved by getting taller and taller. All I could think about was home, how it was near Christmas time, and the thought of the arriving snowfall brought back so many memories. I began to sob lightly, thinking of all the good times with my family as we enjoyed the holidays. But that quickly ceased as the taker laid his hand across the back of my head. "Act your age!" He spat at me in disgust. I don't know what we began to drive on, but I knew it wasn't road. The van slowed a bit and the ground was blue. It seemed to be frozen solid. To my horror, I realized that we were driving on ice. I began to panic, thinking we were bound to fall through eventually. But we never did. Slowly we rolled onto snow and I felt a little safer, opposed to my current situation. The bandage was untied, and the man wrapped it around my arm, as if I was about to get a shot, which I did. The long needle was slipped into my arm, and an odd green liquid was injected into me. I felt something begin to mold my head. My ears began to grow larger and pointed. I cried out in pain as I shrank slowly, as well as the bones in my leg grinding, slowly making them shorten. I didn't know what was happening to me. The taker was laughing like it was all some sort of sick joke, and when we hit a sudden bump in the road, the taker said, "Poor Jim." I figured it was the man who had tried to follow them to get his son back. We continued on. The snow got deeper and deeper until it almost reached the van's windows. I was growing more and more afraid. My clothing fell off as I was almost half my original size. They wrapped a cloth around my waist, hiding away my private area. The van came to a jerking stop, and I fell out of my seat. The taker rose, which was the first sign of life in a while, only to grab me and throw me into the snow. The vehicle began to depart as the man uttered, "Have fun, boy." He left with a loud laugh. The cold crept up my back slowly until my entire body was blue. I couldn't stand with my new shorter legs. The movement was unbearably painful. I slowly began to drift off into sleep. Until I heard a soft, kind laugh. It was odd, but all I heard was, ho, ho, ho.